Inside Evil Abe's lair, blueprints and screens cluttered every table. The space was dimly lit by low-hanging bulbs. Evil Abe sat at a makeshift desk, scrolling through a file labeled Detainment Initiative.
This isn't just policy, it's cruelty in action. They want to take people who've built lives here and send them back to places that might not even take them.
He read further, his jaw clenching more and more. Plans for child detainment, family separation, and deportations fill the screen, with each line stirring a fire of anger in Evil Abe.
It looks like the government is going to need some chaos liberally applied to their plans.
Metal scraped as Abe pushed his chair back, pacing the floor. Just then, Monkey Wrench strolled in, humming a tune and carrying a rusty wrench.
You look like a man on a mission, boss. What's the scoop?
The incoming administration has decided they're going to clean up the country's illegal immigrants.
That's stupid. They're not even the ones causing trouble. They know what happens if they do.
He gestured to the plans on his screen.
We're hitting the ICE office. Every trace of these plans goes up in smoke.
You sure this is going to change anything?
Abe stopped walking and looked at his friend.
I honestly don't know, but I have to try. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
Outside the Hartford ICE office, Evil Abe's robots swarmed around the building, disabling security cameras and capturing guards working the night shift. Abe slipped inside the building, the door clicking shut behind him as his footsteps echoed in the dim corridor. Abe's presence alone seemed to flicker the cameras off one by one, as if sensing the chaos he brought. Outside the building, one of the guards managed to pull his phone out and sent off a quick text. Inside Orangebeard's apartment, the sound of snoring filled the room. A single notification then pierced the night.
Huh? What's going on? It's 2 a.m.
It's your phone. Someone texted you.
Crap. Abe's breaking into the ICE office downtown.
He doesn't exactly believe in rules. Let's go find Red. We need to stop him.
Hey, is that Dunkin' open 24 hours? I'll need a fix if I'm going to be up this early.
Inside the ICE office, Abe walked with purpose down the quiet corridors looking for the server room.
Time to wipe every file, every backup. They'll have nothing left to rebuild. They call it law, but it's just a mask for cruelty.
As he stepped into the server room, Abe reached out to all of the servers with his powers and laid Python scripts onto every virtual machine. The Hartford Heroes arrived at the ICE office and now stood in the shadows, eyeing the building with irritation.
Couldn't he have waited until morning to pull something like this? I mean, who breaks into a government office? Breaking. That's Abe's answer to everything.
You know Abe, always a creature of the night. And look at those bots. This isn't just a prank. He's up to something big.
The low hum of a robot grew louder as it rolled closer, stopping just a few feet from them. Its red sensor light swept the area. They froze, holding their breath as the robot scanned the surroundings, then turned and rolled away with a faint whir.
Aurora, got any tricks to get us past these bots?
Leave it to me.
Aurora raised her hands, and a mist began to drift in, spreading to cover the area. The robot's red sensors flickered, trying to adjust to the visibility. Inside the ICE office, the air was thick with the faint crackle of burning paper. Evil Abe stood watching with a quiet intensity as the flames consumed them. Just as the last paper turned to ash, the creak of a door echoed through the hallway. Abe glanced over his shoulder, catching sight of a shadow moving toward him. He smiled and adjusted his coat.
Right on time.
Evil Abe pulled a device out of his pocket. When he pressed the button on the device, light bent around him, making him invisible.
He's been here. But what was he after?
He's destroyed something, probably whatever files he broke in here for.
Abe is more slippery than a greased pig.
Abe reappeared, pressing the button on a device in his hand.
A charming image, but perhaps find a better metaphor next time.
What's your game? Breaking in here, burning documents. What are you trying to accomplish?
What does it look like, Red?
These look like plans. Plans for what?
Detainment camps, my dear Aurora. They're cleaning up the country. Like that's ever gone wrong. It's simply a matter of math. Connecticut has over 100,000 illegal immigrants. Our prison system holds 10,000 people. They can't support a tenfold increase in population.
What do you mean, Abe? It's just getting rid of people who are breaking the law by being here.
These are not hardened criminals. They are people that have lived here for decades. They have families. They pay taxes. These plans were to take the children and throw them into an already overburdened child foster system and detain the parents.
So that's it? You're torching their plans? We're going to stop you.
Stop me, dear boy. I finished this an hour ago. These papers are just the final touch. I purged their databases of any traces of this vile plan.
But it's lawful.
Abe stepped closer, his gaze fixed and intense as he looked Red directly in the eyes.
It's lawful but awful.
The room fell silent as the heroes stood contemplating his words.
It's one thing to uphold the law, but another to let innocent families be torn apart by it. Maybe he's right. We've got to find a better way.
Maybe. But if we start down this road, who decides what's right and wrong? Is it Evil Abe who makes that decision?
I think that's the best idea you've ever had.
If this is what they're planning, maybe you have a point.
Sometimes you've got to shake up the system to fix it. And let's face it, we need those workers. Society runs on them.
My point exactly. Sometimes causing chaos is the only way to do the right thing.
The heroes exchanged reluctant nods, each acknowledging the difficult truth in his words. Red stepped forward, extending a hand in a gesture of temporary alliance.
We're not stopping you. But don't think this means we're okay with your methods.
Understood. Think of it as a necessary evil. For Hartford, for humanity.